Welcome to another one of our tier lists. Today, Gorillaz.
A band who've got so many good songs, it might become a tier list. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Firing them right from the start.
Yeah. I'm trying anyway.
We have spoken about this, preparing this tier list. If each person, each Gorillaz fan makes a playlist of their favorite songs from each Gorillaz album, say like your five favorite songs from each, you have one of the greatest playlists.
Gorillaz are amazing, aren't they? And of course, they're playing the festival this year, 2026,
Is
Saturday.
It the third time that they're headlining?
I don't know, actually. I remember the other time was really good. 2023, wasn't it? I think Cracker Island had just come out.
When they did the double, they did the twin weekend.
Wasn't that Blur?
No.
Oh,
Blur did the cities. They did Barcelona, Madrid, which was cancelled, but they managed to play in La Riviera. They did a Porto. But before, it was the post-pandemic year. When we managed to celebrate.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
They did 2 weekends. And they had Mos Def, obviously, who lives in Barcelona. They had everyone. They brought, what's his name? Slow Tie, who was on the bill.
Oh, yeah.
Had a magical moment singing with Damon, his collaboration.
They're such a good live band. One of the best gigs I've ever seen was when Plastic Beach came out at the Roundhouse in London. Just insane. But you know what? We need to do this tier list because these people think we can't do anything in 20 minutes.
All right. Well, we're gonna try and beat the record. We're gonna try and do this in 15 minutes.
All right. So, without ado, you know how tier lists work. Basically, we go through the band's albums and we say what kind of level they are. Do you want to hear the levels I have come up with for this?
This is my favorite part, Ben.
Okay. King Kong.
Yeah, so that's the top.
Exactly.
The massive.
Yeah, you can't get any bigger than that.
Yeah.
Monkey Magic.
Okay, what reference is Monkey Magic?
There was like a series from the 70s, 80s, wasn't there, called Monkey Magic or something like that. Or maybe it was just called Monkey. Do you know what? I don't know. I did know when I looked it up and I've kind of forgotten, but it sounds right anyway. So it's
the next best thing after King Kong. Okay, yeah. Monkey Magic.
And for ones in the middle, I'm really pleased with this one. Gorillaz in the Midst.
Oh, class. Seriously, follow his newsletter, read it. The man has a way with words.
Just below that, we've got Unfinished Monkey Business.
Good, very good. A decent Ian Brown solo album.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because it had that song.
It is not.
I know. I don't think we'll ever be doing Ian Brown's tier list albums because, his solo albums don't match his greatness in Stone Roses.
No.
But anyway, let's not digress.
Anyway.
Has he been on Gorillaz?
No, I don't think he has. No.
How has Ian Brown, who was Mr. Monkey, because he always said he had like the facial.
Yeah, like on the cover of that album, Unfinished Monkey Business, he looks like he looks at his most sort of simian.
He owned it, he owned the simian comparison. He's like, yeah, man, I'm the monkey man and stuff. How, Albarn has had every sort of British music legend. He's had Marquis Smith on, which we'll be talking about. He's had Peter Hook on an album. How they might not get on very well, might they? Because Ian Brown is, he's not amicable with just anybody, and he's very good mates with Liam Gallagher. Anyway, this is going somewhere where.
But Noel's been on a Gorillaz. Anyway, yes, and
Noel's been on a Gorillaz.
Yeah, Noel has been on a Gorillaz album. Everyone's been on a Gorillaz album. It's insane when you look back at it. When you look at some of the lineups, like I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Robert Smith was on a Gorillaz album. But yes,
he was. Wonderful track.
Amazing. And right at the bottom, Endangered Species, because let's not forget, we've got to protect those gorillas.
Yes. Hang on, how is it? What? How did you title it?
Endangered Species.
Endangered Species. So that means that it's an album to be treated with care?
Yeah, exactly. Treat it with care. Gorillaz don't make bad albums. We've said this before. But this is like... Yeah, be careful, and you got to know how to act around this album. Is what I'm saying. Basically.
Okay,
you got to kind of protect this album. You got to give it love.
Yeah, and don't take selfies next to it because it might jump and fall off a cliff.
Exactly. Don't get in between this album and its babies.
Yeah,
because it might, kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Kill you or yeah. Okay, so there's no guerrilla warfare. No. What's the?
I thought about it.
But what would that be?
I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, Kids with Guns is about fighting, but like, I didn't really want to put like, it was like, well, warfare's not good, is it? So I don't know.
And there's not enough. But all right, maybe if we were doing it by tracks, there are a couple of tracks that come to mind that I'd put in guerrilla warfare.
Well,
but anyway,
if you want to come up with some guerrilla warfare while we're at it, then
I'm going to stick to the script because time is of essence.
Yes. All right. So let's get on to the Gorillaz' eponymous debut album, released on 26th of March 2001. It's called Gorillaz. Now, I reckon this for me is Monkey Magic. Excellent album. Clint Eastwood, Tomorrow Comes Today, Latin Simone, Que Pasa Contigo. Really, really good, but just slightly finding their feet for me, you know?
I think they're finding their feet too much to be considered so high. It hasn't aged as well, especially compared to the latter albums, in my opinion, where they really hit their stride. The sound of the Gorillaz debut sounds like Damon and Jamie Hewlett were like, all right, let's invent this virtual band. It's cartoons. It's Jamie's cartoons. And I think Damon was kind of, it's like an actor who gets a voice actor who gets the brief and they impersonate the characters.
Yes.
So it's kind of Damon putting it on. Whereas in other albums, it's always Damon, but you accept Damon as, is it 2D? Which is 3D. The character? 3D, sorry. 3D.
Isn't he? Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's like, imagine Andy Serkis who played Gollum. He did such a fantastic job of becoming this creature. And then, no, I can't.
He's 2D. Sorry, excuse me.
It was 2D. I was right.
3D is from Massive Attack. All right, so are you saying Gorillaz in the midst? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay.
Much respect, because obviously it unleashed a whole empire, really, of Gorillaz, of touring, of all this world. But the quality of the songs, I feel that, as I say, Damon is putting it on a bit to become these cartoon characters, and it's all a little bit cartoonish in a good way, but I think it's in the midst.
Okay. All right. And the UK Garage remix of Clint Eastwood is astounding, and that should just be top of every single list. All right. Now, second studio album. If we disagree on that, there's going to be problems. Demon Days, 2005, King Kong. I mean, it's just a fantastic album, Gorillaz. Demon Days, I think it's their best album. I think it's got incredible songs. It's got my favorite Gorillaz song, which is Kid with Guns. It's also got Dare with Film Rider, Dirty Harry, which is kind of absolutely incredible. Feel Good Inc., which I think might be their biggest song. I mean, they just killed it.
It's because Feel Good does that beautiful thing that Gorillaz songs do, which is it'll have this sort of beat thing going on, and then it'll switch completely, and that Willow Windmill, is it Windmill? And the video, I remember, the 2D on the clouds with that sort of floating lighthouse thing. I just really loved it. I loved how I think that was the one they performed as a virtual band when they'd used this 3D technology. Like what do you call it? The holograms.
Right.
They did it at the MTV Awards the EMAs when they did it in Lisbon. I remember that was like, wow, this is groundbreaking on television. Oh, that is such a good album.
I'll tell you a thing as well. Like, you might think, I think when the first album came out, like, it was a bit like, this is really good, but like, it's a cartoon band. Let's kind of say, but like, for me, Kids with Guns is absolutely heartbreaking. And it's kind of that moment when you realise they might be a cartoon band, they might be Damon Albarn and co, they might be Jamie Hewlett's cartoons, they might be whatever, but my God, they can really convey incredible emotion. Kids with Guns gets me every single time. I love that song. It's so good. King Kong. And I'm not going to do that. Plastic Beach?
A banana, anyone? Plastic Beach. Wow. I think, okay. Yeah.
No, say it. And I'm going to...
No. Get, I'm trying to remember which is which.
Plastic Beach, for me, King Kong. Yeah, again, because they came out and basically it's got like Syrian strings, it's got electro bits. It's where they, I think, kind of really expanded. This was when I saw them live, like around about the start of this. And I remember they had like this string section. You're like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then all these people come on. It's got Marky Smith, it's got Lou Reed, it's got Mos Def, it's got Snoop Dogg, it's got, like I say, Stylo's one of my favorite songs, Empire Ants with Little Dragon. It's got On Melancholy Hill. I just think it's got that kind of whole environmental theme, which is very clever as well, you know, which I think they really reflects in the music and the images and the words and everything. I think it's not quite Demon Days, because my God, do I love Demon Days, but it's up there. For me, it's got to be King Kong. Do you agree?
It is King Kong. It is Imperial Phase. I love when we talk about, you know, when an artist or a musical project reaches Imperial Phase, when it's just total dominance of the pop cultural sphere. That's when they were totally established as a super headline festival headline act, and they haven't dropped the mantle since. I was lucky enough to catch them in the United States in a festival. I don't want to brag, and
that you definitely had a ticket for,
which I blagged a ticket for. I got in anyway, and yeah, but I mean, that is it a bass line or is it a sort of bass beat line on stylo? I can't.
Oh.
I haven't heard anything like it. You know how everyone copies each other or samples? You can get sample packs. That beautiful sort of, especially on headphones, and that video with Bruce Willis, with, you know, where they're racing those muscle cars, you know, and he's chasing them, and because, you know, it was on MTV all the time. We were constantly presenting it, and it was a video you just couldn't stop watching. And it's a very simple video. It's a car chase like any one of those 70s movies, like Scorpio Rise. What was it? No, what's the ones that Peter Fonda would make? Anyway, you know those films, Two-Lane Blacktop and stuff like that. But the sound of that, and you've got Empire Ants with Little Dragon. That beautiful, again, those little pad sounds.
Yes.
It's when we really get that beautiful Damon Albarn melancholy in songs, and then he leaves space for what's her name from Little Dragon to bring it in.
Yukimi Nagano.
I mean, and obviously on Melancholy Hill is one of their biggest hits as well. So it's, you know, proper Imperial Phase. They're at their height of their powers. King Kong.
Also, I don't remember what kind of stage Bobby Womack was in at this moment, because like he did have that late period career revival, but for my mind, they really helped him with that, like, because they put him on and he gave this incredible vocal performance where he's just like, his voice is so strong, and like you don't hear that, like that kind of like, not untrained, you know what I mean? That kind of unleashed passion on what was a really big hit. And as far as I remember, and I might be getting this wrong, that really helped with this sort of late period revival.
Because he'd come on, he did the tour. He did the entire, I think he was in most of the global tour. I saw him and he'd come out. And I seem to remember he needed a bit of help, you know, coming on, because he was very old by this stage, and of course the voice just belted out and stuff, and Damon smiling there on the piano, looking. I was like, oh, look at all the legends I've put together, on stage, incredible, Saint Damon.
So now we follow that up with an album that I think you'd forgotten about, The Fall.
I didn't even know it existed.
Well, I remember it was first released as a download on Christmas 2010. I remember I was at my mum and dad's house, and I didn't try to download because it was only for Gorillaz fan club. So I was like, oh, there's this new Gorillaz record. Like, this is weird. And basically Damon recorded it on tour, apparently using only an iPad.
Okay.
And it was like, whoa, it was, done with an iPad, and they've released it to fan club members, and it's a download, would you believe it? And then it did come out kind of properly a bit later, like almost 6 months later, no, 5 months later, something like that. And it's good, but for me, this is what Unfinished Monkey Business is for, because it's like, I mean, it's finished, you know, but like if you compare it to other Gorillaz albums, which are really finessed and incredible, it's like, it feels like what it was. It feels like an album recorded on an iPad by someone who's incredibly good at music, who was probably doing it to relax.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh. I as I say, I can't really say anything because I did not know this album existed. It completely slipped my research. Doesn't speak highly of me either. But it does feature Bobby Womack again. It's the only collaboration that's registered here on the streaming platform I'm consulting.
It's got Mick Jones and Paul Simonon, although they might not be named as collaborators.
Because, well, they were part of the touring band.
Yeah.
It's another thing. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have the Clash as my backing band, you know.
And is anyone cooler on stage than Paul Simonon? The way he moves with that bass, it's like, come on.
I've got a photo with them.
You do not.
I've got it. I can pull it up. Anyway, while you keep talking, let me find it. With both of them, with Simonon and Albarn.
Well, what I'm going to say is to anyone, do go back and listen to it. The double single, Revolving Doors Amarillo, is well worth. That's probably a starting point. And it's a good album, but it's unfinished monkey business.
Okay.
And so after that, there was a bit of a break in Gorillaz. There are rumours that they had a bit of a falling out, Damon and Jamie Hewlett. I don't know.
I wonder how that works. Their company, like, it's obviously Gorillaz. The Gorillaz project is registered to them, right? Jamie and Damon. But how do they split? Because Jamie's work is fundamental, but then there's a lot of hours and groundwork in composing, in getting these musicians together, to planning tours, stuff like that. Do you think he's entitled to?
I mean, he must get. He probably doesn't get songwriting royalties, but he probably gets like royalties like Richie Manick, who didn't really play on the records, but
Richie Manick didn't he write most of the songs? Richie Edwards?
Well, he wrote the words, you see, but he didn't actually play on the records.
Okay, we'll have to do my next week. Preacher's tier list, I think. Down the line, I'm willing. Okay, all right, all right. Look. What does Reddit say? How do Gorillaz split their earnings? Anyway, because this has nothing to do with the music. Come on.
So they came back. The fall was 2010, and they came back with Humanz in 2017. And it's got songs like Andromeda, We Got the Power with Jenny Beth. It's good for me. It's not like it I put it in like Gorillaz in the midst, because for anyone else, it would be really, really good. But when you've been on that kind of run, like Demon Days, Plastic Beach, and it just felt a bit like they needed to get back into it. Like they were in that absolutely gilded stage where they could do no wrong. And then like they certainly didn't take 5 years off, because Damon is always working. But like they kind of need to ease their way back into Gorillaz. And it was a really good album, but it wasn't quite up there.
I know what you mean. And look, the formula of having a stellar featuring collaborators is just, it's one of their biggest accomplishments. Grace Jones, Carly Simon with Caliuchis, Mavis Staples, Dram, who I absolutely adore, Vince Staples, De La Soul. You had it was primarily sort of black musicians on this album, but that doesn't make it like an exclusive sort of more hip hop leaning or more soulful, like, which are very potent styles in the Gorillaz catalog. But I think some of the songs have messy textures, when they get loud and distorted, and again, it sounds like Damon was trying to do what he did on the first album, which is, I'm gonna really try and become the cartoon musically. It's the one that most sort of reminds me of the debut in that sense of like, let's not forget that this is a virtual band with a cartoon kind of universe and stuff. I don't know if, maybe he was a little bit lost. It's like, let's just go back to the drawing board and maybe that way we can find a track. It's funny that in the genesis of this album, I read that he sent a message to Pusha T, who features on the album, saying, look, the kind of music I want on this album is, imagine a world in which Donald Trump becomes president of the United States. Because it was when he was starting to sort of tease
so it wasn't totally like... Oh.
Yeah, and it's like, imagine. And it's like, let's imagine what kind of a effed up world that would be. So, sadly, this album sounds much more colorful and positive, as doomy as it might be in some of the lyrics, than what we're living in now, which sounds more like a Merzbow album.
Jesus.
But it's funny that, think in more innocent times when they thought, hey, imagine if this happened. And it's like, well, it did happen twice. And look at this.
Gorillaz in the midst? You've depressed me a little bit now. Or would you put it higher?
Hang on, what's higher than that?
Higher than that is Monkey Magic, which we currently have nothing.
All right, midst. Gorillaz in the midst.
Okay, right. So let's do it there. And after Humanz, what was after Humanz? After Humanz, the Now. Right. This is interesting because it was another one that was done during a break when they were touring. And you know how basically Humanz had all the guests. I mean, had everyone. Mavis Staples, like Pusha T, like people I did not remember. Noel Gallagher, like Jenny Beth, our mate Jenny Beth. Like, it was incredible. And so on this record, they only have 3 guests, which is George Benson, Snoop Dogg, and Jamie Principle. It was quite like synth poppy and new wavy.
Very synthy, which I loved.
I've got to say, all the love to the Gorillaz. It's my least favorite Gorillaz album.
Vale, okay. Well, I think I do like it. I think it is Monkey Magic because of the way they lean into the synths, because it's one of my favorite aspects of the musicality of Gorillaz. The synths, especially all those sort of playful toy synths that Damon collects from his travels and stuff. And I like how it kind of is a 2D solo album in a way. There's a few collaborators and stuff, but it stands up.
Monkey Magic.
I would give it Monkey Magic.
All right, I'm going to go with that. We're going to take the positive view. Next up, really good album, Song Machine Season 1 Strange Times, released in 2020. I think they had there was some weird concept behind it. Like they were doing a web series with singles and music videos, and they released things from time to time. And I didn't quite understand the concept at the time. Features Elton John, Robert Smith, Peter Hook, etc., etc., etc. Features, again, one of my absolute favourite Gorillaz albums, Désolé, which is a tune. That is such a good tune. Aries with Peter Hook and Strange Times with Robert Smith. For me, it's Monkey Magic.
It's Monkey Magic. Just that passage of where is it? Aries featuring Peter Hook's iconic bass lines, that beautiful bass line that is just like, this is totally Peter Hook. It could be on a New Order album. It could even be on a Joy Division. Well, maybe not Joy Division. I know that Octavian is a person who got a little bit cancelled and stuff. He had a bit of stuff going on in his life, but Friday the 13th is one of my favorite Gorillaz tracks, and his hoarse cracked vocals, he's been drinking and smoking too much, that's it, damages. That's how the song begins. I just love it. And as you say, with the Désolé with Fatoumata Diawara is such a tune, without a doubt.
All right. After that, Cracker Island. Now, I reviewed Cracker Island for Pitchfork, and I'm starting to think I was a bit harsh on it because I've gone back to it and I like it quite a lot. It's got Cracker Island with Thundercat, which I remember them playing when they played here. It's got Baby Queen, which is an absolutely gorgeous song about playing in front of the Queen of Thailand, I think it might be. It's got Tormenta with Bad Bunny, which to me sounds exactly how a Gorillaz with Bad Bunny should be. I think it's Monkey Magic. I think it's really good. I think I should have given it a better mark.
And I love the Tame Impala song, New Gold, featuring Booty Brown as well. It's got Beck on it. I mean, Cracker Island is potent.
I can't stop singing Cracker Island, the song.
Cracker Island.
Exactly.
So what? King...
Oh, no,
not King Kong.
Come on, guys. It's Monkey Magic.
It's Monkey Magic.
Okay. And that leaves us just with the latest one, which was kind of almost the inspiration for doing this list, The Mountain. Which came out about a month ago, a month and a half, something like that. And
Instant Honey for me.
It's beautiful. Incredible album.
Obviously, if you don't know the story, both Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett's dads had passed away in the space of 10 days from each death, and they both went to India on a healing journey. And Damon swam in the Ganges and how do you say it? Sprinkled the ashes in the river. I'm kind of afraid of ever going to India because I think I'll be just another Western citizen who comes back saying, I am so spiritual now and stuff, because it must be such a powerful experience to see that and witness, the spirituality in India. I'll just be another one, and I'll probably dedicate my personality to be I've been to India.
Will you make an album as good as The Mountain?
I don't know if I'd make an album as good as The Mountain, but I'll certainly make something in line with the good heart, warm spiritual mindset of coming back from India.
The other thing I love, is going with the concept. They exhumed a lot of vocals they'd have from previous collaborators who had passed away, including Marky Smith, including loads of people actually.
Was it Bobby Womack?
No. Tony Allen,
Tony
Proof, Dave Jolicoeur from... Oh, yeah. Sorry, Bobby Womack.
I thought he was in there. Yeah. Dennis Hopper.
Yeah. Okay, my only question with this is it King Kong or Monkey Magic?
Maybe too soon to put it up in King Kong just yet.
Okay.
Definitely Monkey Magic, without a doubt.
And that, my friend, in almost 20 minutes,
Almost.
was our guide to the Gorillaz. We didn't put an endangered species in. I had one that was going to go there, but you argued me around. So it's all good. King Kong, Monkey Magic, Gorillaz in the Mid's unfinished monkey business. Gorillaz play Primavera Sound on the Saturday of the festival, whichever date that is. It's
the 6th, I think, no?
Yeah.
The 7th.
We will be there.
Oh, yes.
And it's just you do too. Let us know what you think. Let us know, did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Are we blathering idiots? Which should have been higher? Which should have been lower? What's your favourite Gorillaz album and song and everything? And it's been a pleasure. We're going to be back. We've got a very special tier list being cooked up right now.
With someone who never got the chance to record on a Gorillaz track. And I bet that breaks Damon's heart. And you'll understand who it is when we announce it.